One of the common scenarios that I have seen over the years as a financial advisor is Muslims working with advisors who claim to have knowledge on Islamic investing when they have nothing of the sort. Here's what happens. A lot of the time, the Muslims will express, I don't want any form of interest coming to me as an investor. And the financial advisor will say, no problem. I can invest you in something that pays you only dividends. The Muslim, not knowing any better, will say, okay, that's not a problem. Then what will happen is the advisor will put them in a haram investment. Why? Because you don't know how to look up whether or not that dividend fund is actually halal. Well, today I am going to arm you with that knowledge so that you don't fall for this type of nonsense ever again. But before I do, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can come back for more videos.
All right, I'm going to show you how we can look up whether or not the fund that we are invested in, whether it be through work or through our bank, is actually halal. A lot of times the advisors will say it's halal, but it won't actually be halal. So here's how you can tell. First, what you want to do is you want to go to Google and you want to look up the fund facts. So let's just use the idea of the Fidelity Dividend Fund. Okay. A lot of the times what advisors will say, or fake halal advisors will say, is they will say, oh, you can't take interest? Well, why don't we put you in something that generates dividends? Dividends are fine as long as the dividends are coming from a halal source. But if the source of the dividends are not halal, then the dividends themselves are not halal either. So we need to make that very clear. So what we need to do is we need to go to Google, we look up the fund. It can be any fund, right? I'm using the Fidelity Dividend Fund as an example, but if it's the RBC Balanced Fund or the Fixed Income Fund or whatever, you look it up on Google. That's what you do first. So what you do is you want to look up the top 10 holdings. And so if we look at the top 10 holdings of this Fidelity Dividend Fund, you can see Fidelity Dividend Multi-Asset Fund, Fidelity Canadian Money Market Investment Trust, Royal Bank, Fidelity Canadian Bond Fund. So most of this is probably going to be haram right off the start just by looking at it. You could probably tell. But for the sake of the exercise, I'm going to look up two of the holdings here and see whether or not they are halal. So let's start with TD Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the App Store and you're going to download the Zoya app. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look up the different holdings inside that fund. So Toronto Dominion Bank was on there, and let's see. Of course, that's obvious. It's a bank. Banks make money off of interest, therefore it's not Sharia compliant. But for the sake of the exercise, I'm just showing you how to do it, and you can see a lot of news on them, what they do, different things like that. And if you get the premium version, you can get a full report and breakdown as to how it is Sharia compliant, and you'll see different segments, things like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look up another one that is on that list that may actually be halal. So let's have a look and see something on there that might actually be halal. So let's look at Suncor Energy. Typically, oil and gas and energy investments are halal, but you have to still look into it to make sure that they're operating in a halal manner. So we're going to go back to our Zoya app. We are going to type in Suncor. And Suncor is also non-Sharia compliant. So therefore, this is a impermissible investment for you to invest in. I hope this helps. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, guys, there you have it. That is how you can look it up on your phone, quick and easy. Whatever the advisor tells you that this fund pays dividends, make sure to double check, do your due diligence to make sure that what you're dealing with is actually halal. And if you don't want to do that work yourself, reach out to us. If you want a little bit of extra help, CanadianislamicWealth.com. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.